All right, Mr. Liu, going by the conversation we had in February, it was clear that as a country, we are on our way to developing a data-driven off-grid model for Nigeria that will become an exemplar for sub-Saharan Africa. We're on our way to promoting the use of decentralized energy solutions to power houses, communities, and businesses. And going by, the era of those who were there before you became MD, by 2023, we should have developed 10,000 mini grids, which was expected to provide power to about 14% of the population. And part of the vision is to also provide reliable power supply for 250,000 SMEs, to provide uninterrupted power supply in federal universities and university teaching hospitals. And subsequently, also, Nigeria plans to reach a full electrification rate by 2040, connecting over 500 houses each year from 2020 to 2040. These were the goals of those that occupied that position before you. How realistic are these goals?
And now, with the present government, we are even much more ambitious than those previous goals. If you look at what I have been presenting day in, day out, it's one, the ambitious plan now to electrify 17.5 million Nigerians using under the distributed access through renewable energy scale-up funding or program, which we have already secured the funding and we have already started the implementation. We are starting the implementation with an ambitious project of deploying 42 interconnected mini grids that would electrify close to 1 million Nigerians. Then this would also be just a part of the program. We have also the plan to deploy close to 1,250 independent isolated mini grids to power close to 3 million Nigerians, and the deployment of standalone hub system to power close to 12 million Nigerians. So what we have now, it's a much more ambitious plan in terms to address the electricity access gap. The DES program is just one of it. Beyond that, we have the EHAT electrifying health institution, education, agriculture, and rural communities, as well as e-mobility. We have that also program targeting about 7 million Nigerians, which we have already also started implementing it. We also just recently secured additional funding through the Japanese government for additional funding of about $200 million, which would target additional 1,830,000 Nigerians or people to be added to the total number. So what the present government is doing, it's not just setting the 500,000 target, but looking at what is the total number of people that are without this access and focusing on the number to address it within the next 3 years. And I tell you that the 17.5 million Nigerians to be electrified program had already started. The additional funding for additional 1,830,000 from the Japanese government has been secured. In fact, we just got the information that the board of the JICA had already approved that funding. So once we got the internal process right, we will also get this funding for us to start the 1,830,000 Nigerians as well.
All right. So, Mr. Ali, just for the purpose of clarity, you have said increased electrification rates will be achieved with both conventional and renewable energy sources, the latter with on-grid and off-grid applications. I want you to expatiate on this. Talk to us about this policy.
So what we are doing, and that is the essence of the electrification strategy and implementation plan. The plan would tell you the best means or the least costs approach of providing electricity. So rather than just extending the grid from one place to another, the plan would tell you that the most viable way of providing electricity in this community is isolated mini grid. So go and put an isolated mini grid. And that will give you an economical way of providing electricity to this community without spending a lot of public funds. So that is what we are doing. So we have done this mapping. We have identified the areas to provide the isolated mini grids. We have identified areas for interconnected mini grids. We have identified areas for even a new technology that we introduced called mesh grid. We have also identified the areas for standalone home systems. So that is what the plan had provided us with. So we now set target for each of these different approach of providing electricity. Under the DES project, we want to electrify 3 million Nigerians using isolated mini grids, 1.5 million Nigerians using interconnected mini grids, and about 12 million Nigerians using standalone system and mesh grids. That is very clear. Under the eHeart program, we want to provide 9.7 million Nigerians using isolated mini grids that we have already mapped out the areas identified, and we are in discussion with the subnationals for them to agree to our approach and for us to start working with the subnational to deploy this mini grids. We also have, using our electrification strategy and implementation plan, have identified the areas where it is standalone home system that you will provide. These are areas that are sparsely populated, either deploying either isolated mini grid or interconnected mini grid or extended grid may not be economically viable to provide them with the electricity. In these areas, we provide them with rooftop solar home system that will provide them with this electricity. So that is the approach. It's all in our own way of utilizing the public fund in the most economically efficient manner for us to achieve the electrification.
So, Mr.